have to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up, and throughout the world today.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the show. Good morning, good morning. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53773, 888-77 Jesse, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week. My biblical question. What is your state of mind? What is your state of mind? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're busy, you're out and about, whatever you're doing, you can working out, whatever you're doing. Contaminated in water trying to cross into the country. You can listen to the show on your iPhone, iPad, on your free Obama free phones by calling the listen line on your iPhone, iPad at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us, JLP Talk on Twitter, and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe. Y'all know what to do. All right? The third hour today is Manhood Hour. Every third hour is Manhood Hour.
Amazing.
Amazing. I think it's absolutely mind-blowing. It's absolutely, though I understand it, I now understand why things happen, but it's mind-blowing as to talk about a spiritual battle, right? It's mind-blowing as to what's happening in my country today. It's like the people of evil are totally running the jailhouse now. It's like the inmates are running it. And it's mind-blowing. I saw this story where this lady, for lack of a better word, out of Chicago that used to, Laura Lightfoot, remember her? She used to be the mayor of Chicago. She's now going to be a so-called professor of something at Harvard, I believe. And her subject is about how to run the city, I think, and how to deal with the media, something like that. So, if it is Harvard, I may be wrong about the school, but whatever university hired her to talk about running a city, she ran the city into the ground So I guess she's going to be teaching the kids at Harvard. I believe it's Harvard. I'll go check. Hold on. Let me go ask my producer. I'll be right back. Yeah, it's Harvard. And it's like the losers in our country is now running the country. And just as they ran whatever they were in charge of into the ground, they're running the country into the ground. And what's interesting about it, the parents who don't love the children anymore are sending these children to these schools where losers are educating them against the parents, against what is right, and against the country. It's like, what has happened? What went wrong? And I've said over and over again that the country is not coming back. I know you don't want to hear that. There are some people, especially older generation, they don't want to hear it. But it's beyond, it's like this thing has been in the making for years, right? The destruction of the country. And it's at a boiling point now where it's just all bubbling over. The water is bubbling over the top of the pot into the stove. I was looking at how there are illegal aliens coming in from all around the country. I mean, around the world. And they're coming from, they're like China and Africa and Mexico and everywhere. And they're coming in and they're bringing crime and diseases and drugs and everything in. And it's been talked about on the news, some of the news, most of the liberal press is not reporting it, but on the news, it's been talked about what's happening, and nobody's stopping it. It's just getting worse. It's not being stopped at all. And these people are coming in, and they're committing crimes and all other kind of stuff in our country. They're committing crime and everything. And no one doing anything about it. Isn't that amazing? Drugs are coming in. And the government that works for us, we pay them to work for us, are working against us. They are more invested in Ukraine and zero investment in this country. Did you ever imagine this? Crime is everywhere. I saw a video where this guy was beating a black woman there in New York, I believe, in the subway with a stick or cane or something. Just literally beating her. Like her mama. And no one does anything about it. The guy's in and out of jail, according to the reports. And I believe this guy was an illegal alien, too. It's a mess what's happening in America. It's mind-blowing. And you got all the wrong, insane people running our country. And that's why I said all the wrong people are in the right places to make sure our country never return. I want my country back, but I don't see the country coming back. How will you deal with all this? How will you handle no bail bond? Don't punish the criminals, punish the innocent people. You don't have a right to protect yourself. And then they have women all over the place running everything. You know it's not going to return. Because they're emotional. It's not in their nature to lead. It's in their nature to follow. And they're all over the place. The Daily Mail reported that New York City subway beating suspect Norton Blake was set free by cops after hitting a 60-year-old woman with her own cane 50 times, according to the Daily Mail. This is in America. America. Do you think we will ever get a strong representative to run America again, as we did with Donald Trump? Remember Donald Trump? Donald Trump wanted to. We have a soundbite of the woman getting beaten. Is that right? Yeah, let's play that. We have that. You have it, Hassan? What I'm about to show you is not in a third world. It's in America, which is now quickly becoming a third world. So this is from, I'm sorry, text 11. Oh, Pitch 11. Watch this.
Oh my goodness.
This cell phone video circulating social media shows a man viciously beating a woman, police say with her own cane. First, the man is seen hitting the woman with a belt. She used her cane to defend herself, but he pulls it away and used it against her. For at least 2 minutes while on the ground, the man continued beating the woman repeatedly. At one point, he hits her so hard, the top of the cane broke off. The 60-year-old woman tried to use her legs to keep the man off, but he just kept coming, swinging, and hitting her.
That video that's circulating around on social media, it's tough to watch.
Police believe it started as a dispute as the two were walking up a flight of stairs at the subway station here on West 116th Street and Lenox Avenue in Harlem. It was early Friday morning. That's when things quickly escalated to this.
The verbal dispute becomes physical, where you see on video the male striking the female with that wooden cane dozens of times and also striking her with that belt.
We showed the video to passengers at the station.
Horrible. That's not nice. Because that could have been my mother.
While it's still unclear who recorded the video, you can hear the person describe what was happening.
She's being hit with a cane now.
The victim was taken to Harlem Hospital, but after watching the video, some are questioning why didn't anyone intervene to stop the man.
People don't get involved like they used to. People scared.
Amazing. That's in the United States of America. And the interesting thing about that, this is what they want. The government and the people in charge of the country want this. It's not like it's an accident. It's not like it's an unusual thing. They want this to be happening. They are setting it up where it can happen. Defund the police. No police around now. And if the police should be around and intervene, the officer get punished, not the criminal. Not the criminal. But the police. So the police hands are tied, even if there are one or two around. They're letting the criminals go right in and out of jail, no big deal. No bond, no nothing. What do you think they're going to do? And they're bringing them in by having open borders into our country. And people are afraid because if you jump in to try to help, you know you got to fight with the guy too, and then there are no cops. And if you try to fight to help that lady, then you get in trouble. They want it. It's amazing. It's interesting, too, the same hell that you see happening outside of you like that is happening inside of human beings, too. It's no different. The Daily Mail is reporting that officers questioned Blake, but let him go without arresting him after he and Reynolds offered conflicting accounts of the attack. It is so interesting to me, and it's also interesting in that adults are acting this way. It's like adults. So the government said, okay, y'all can go out there and just act like fools. And they go do it. What about self? Don't you like yourself enough where you carry yourself in a certain way, be a certain way? The very interesting thing about this, folks, it's going to get worse. And I've been saying for a long time, it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse. You haven't seen anything yet. There's nothing stopping it. How can it get better? What a mess. Talk about hell on earth, huh? They won't put the wall up around the borders. It's going to get worse. And everybody has fear, so there's nothing to stop it. There is nothing to stop it. And the reason there's nothing to stop it, because you have fear. And we have fear. We need the border wall back up. We need Netanyahu, the president of Israel, to come and run our country until we can get Donald Trump back in there. Netanyahu, Benjamin, is needed until we get the great white hope, Donald Trump, back. The president of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, he's not going to put up with that. I know I've been told he's the prime minister, but I think it's the same thing as the president, just a different name. Thank you. Oh, it's not the same thing as the president? What the prime minister? Well, I respect him so much, I call him Mr. President. Mr. Prime Minister President Benjamin Netanyahu. He's not going to put up with that in Israel. Oh, I'm being told there's a president who is not Netanyahu, who's the prime minister. That's confusing, but we'll get to that later. But anyway, Benjamin is not going to put up with that mess in Israel. PBS is reporting, and remember I talked a while back how in Israel they have a wall around there? Build the wall! And, but not here. Where they have illegal aliens over there in Israel who are coming from, according to the report, from Africa and places like that. And they're starting the same mess over there that the illegal aliens and others are doing here in our country. Benjamin Netanyahu, Nope, it ain't going to happen here in Israel. This is the Lord's place. PBS has reported Benjamin Netanyahu says Sunday he wants Eritreans, migrants, involved in a violent clash in Tel Aviv to be deported immediately and has ordered a plan to remove all of the country's African migrants. Watch this from BBC.
In Israel, where more than 100 people, including around 30 police officers, have been injured in clashes between Israeli security forces and Eritrean asylum seekers in Tel Aviv. Some are in a serious condition. Police said they fired live rounds in the air, as well as deploying stun grenades, tear gas and sponge-tipped bullets to disperse supporters and opponents of the Eritrean government. Anti-government protesters had earlier broken through security barriers at the Eritrean embassy to stop an event that they had earlier asked the Israeli authorities to cancel.
There were attempts to break through police barricades. The Israeli police then ended up using all of these different riot control methods, as they described them, to try to push people back. But you could see as well from some of the videos that have been shared on social media that there were actually also street fights going on, not just with the police, but also involving asylum seekers who are against the Eritrean regime and those who are in favor of it. And that has been something that we've seen in the past, not on this scale. In the south of Tel Aviv, there has been previous violence between the two sides. Some of their shops have been smashed up, some privately owned cars have been smashed up in all the trouble that there's been. And I think it does really threaten to increase the tensions that there are between asylum seekers and other residents in Tel Aviv.
What a mess. Just think about this. These people are coming from S-hole countries around the world, S-hole countries, and they're bringing their mess into this country and Israel, the Western world. Can you believe that? That's what they do over there to third world countries. That's why they say they're running away from that and want to come to countries where they don't have to live that way, but they're bringing the same thing with them. It's like the illegal aliens who are coming in from Mexico and other places. They come in and they turn the areas into Mexico. You go downtown Los Angeles, once you cross a certain street, it's like you landed in Mexico. It looked like Mexico. Remember the Great White Hope said these people coming from S-hole countries. And this is what the government want. They want all this mess in order to control you. It's about perceived power and wealth. It's not about you. It's not about the people that they're allowing into this country. It's about perceived power and wealth. The ego is always about itself. It's never, ever, ever, ever about anyone else. It's always about itself. I've heard horror stories over the last 30-something years now, 33, 34, whatever, many years. The ego is evil. Human nature is evil. The next time someone tells you that human beings are good, they are evil for even saying that. They're lying to you. According to the Times of Israel, the wall going up. The wall going up. Benjamin Netanyahu floated the idea of building a fence along the entire borders with Jordan to prevent infiltration into the country. Watch this from BBC.
The massive illegal infiltration into Israel from Africa posed a real threat to Israel's future as a Jewish and democratic state. We stopped this threat by building the fence. There remains the problem of those who had already entered before the completion of the fence. These are tens of thousands of illegal infiltrators.
The wall going up. Benjamin ain't going to take that mess just because you're black and going to call him racist. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Build the wall. Remember when the Great White Hope tried to build the wall? Remember he tried to build the wall? And our government, including some Republicans, tried to stop him. And what happened when his term was up? They didn't complete the wall. Matter of fact, recently, according to the report, they have opened up the wall, portion of it, pretending they want animals to be able to cross in and out from one country to another or something dumb. Either you overcome your fear and be free because it's going to get worse, or you suffer because you have fear you will be controlled. You will be controlled. It's a mess. And if ever we needed a wall, we need it now around our country as well. Maybe Benjamin can come over here and have the wall built here, start on it until the Great White Hope get in. Build the wall. Oh, the wall going up. Yeah, Mr. President, take this home. Home. The wall going up. The wall going up. It's long overdue. The wall going up. 30-foot wall. The wall going up. The wall going up. At the border, I'm stunned. Amazing. If ever we needed it, we need it now in our country. I saw another report where the governor of Texas, you know how he's been shipping the illegal aliens to New York and other places, I guess? Well, he's sending some to L.A., according to a report. He's going to bus them to L.A. Don't we already have enough of them here? Just think about this. Human beings, grown people that we hired to work for us, to build roads, to have a strong military, to arrest the criminals, have strong laws to protect the innocent, are now working against us. They are now the enemies of good, enemies of innocent people in the United States of America. Talk about insanity. But I do want you to know the same confusion that you see happening outside of you, out there in the world, is happening inside of you. And the people who are creating this confusion, this is what they're feeling within themselves. This is what their world looked like within themselves. Otherwise, how can you create this if it wasn't already inside of you? It is hell on earth. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. What a mess. When I come back, your phone calls, your super chats. It's a spiritual battle, folks. I'm glad Netanyahu is setting the example. Maybe somebody will catch on over here in this country, other than the Great White Hope, until we get him back. When I come back, your phone calls and super chat. Quick break. Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. Okay, welcome back. 888-7753-773. 888-77 The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning after my show, thehakereport.com. And then at 11, Wow is coming up. Hassan, Wow, W-O-W, Wow, Hassan, right? At 11 a.m. Pacific time, and after that, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby. Amazing. It's mind-blowing. And tonight, it's tomorrow night, the men's forum. We have a brand new episode of The Father State this Friday. The Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. I had a conversation with Dr. Etienne Graves. He is an author, pastor, and founder of MEMO Ministry. MEMO Ministries. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Until you come to the knowledge and salvation of Jesus Christ, you will be in a fallen state. So I think everybody should forgive their parents.
Did you tell your mother I forgive you?
Mm-hmm. I didn't say I was afraid. I'm not afraid at all.
You like having your mother's personality?
I'm not my mother or my father. I'm me. There's no such thing as racism. It is the spirit of division.
Your wife obey you?
Yes.
She obey you?
Just do what I tell her to do?
Yes.
I don't operate like that.
What the? How do you feel about Black Lives Matter?
It's ran by not just lesbians, but witches.
Amazing. That's this Friday, if the Lord is willing, and the creek will rise at 4 p.m. What a mess! Oh, the wall going up. Let me go to Russ out of Hampton, Virginia. Russ, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Jesse?
All is well, Russ.
I've been trying to get a hold of you for a long time because I've been questioning my faith or my lack of faith, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, you should question yourself. Every human being should. You're right about that.
Okay. So I was looking at my life and I decided, listen, maybe I need to make some changes in my life. And maybe my lack of faith or my lack of, attention to God is a problem. So let me try to change that. So at a certain point in time, I tried to say, okay, maybe being a Christian is the right thing to do. Do that. And then I tried. But it wasn't that easy to do. I remember one time I called your program, and you weren't in, and they had people that were sitting in for you. So I called, and I talked to somebody, and they said, know yourself. I'm 58 years old. I've been myself for 58 years. I know myself. That's not telling me anything. I don't know what that means. What is that? Is that a fancy way of saying something? Tell me what you're talking about, because that doesn't tell me anything. I know myself. I went back. I started watching old sermons from old preachers that I used to listen to when I was growing up. One of which Pastor Frederick K. Price. I believe that you used to listen to him, or used to go to his church at one point.
He did.
Yeah, he passed away. Yeah. But I just remember that was somebody that when I was getting dressed for church on Sunday morning, my mom would have that on the TV, and I remember that I used to hear that, and I was like, okay, well, I want to go back and listen to old pastors that I grew up on, and so Frederick K. Price was the first person I could think of. Now I know all the new pastors.
And so your question for me is what?
It seems to me that in order for me to be a Christian and to love and trust God, is not something I can just do myself. It has come to me that it has to come from God for me. Because, people say, well, you have to trust God or you have to believe. You can't tell me to just believe, and I hear the things, and I know it's not real, not this and not that. So I'm asking you, what would you tell somebody, for example, if you had somebody that approached you that was in Africa and had never heard anything about God, and they said to you, Jesse, I want to be a Christian, what do I do? What would you tell that person? Because again, I would tell them, I feel like
I would tell them not to want to be a Christian, but to want to return to the Father. Because the problem is that they have been turned away from the Father, from God, and all the conflict is coming from that. And I would tell them to return to the Father.
But what does that mean? Return to the Father. What does that mean?
It means that you're lost in the wilderness of your imagination and emotions. And in there's nothing but hell. All this conflict and confusion and fear and doubt and jealousy and envy and strife and all that. And because you've been turned away from the light of God. And when you go and return to the light, then all the hell that's inside of you will disappear because it's the spirit of evil, and it'll be taken away from you. And you're right in that there's nothing you can do about it. Only God can change it. Human beings cannot change themselves, period.
But here's the thing. You're saying things, return to the light, do this, do that. That's not, you're not telling me.
And the way you do it,
ABC.
The way
I don't
you
understand
do it,
what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to. And you're saying things that doesn't mean anything. Like, I don't know what you're saying.
The way you do it is to see. The way you do it is to see that you're wrong for being angry, because anger is hatred, and hatred separates you from the Father. He's all love, and a person of anger cannot. He is not going to let you enter into the kingdom of heaven within. As long as you have anger, it's not going to happen because Satan is your God, right? And so when you see that you have that anger, and you realize that you're wrong for having it because you're judging, you're playing God. And when you go and forgive, he will forgive you and take away the spirit of anger and make you free. But you got to admit you're wrong for playing God.
First of all, I'm not playing God, number one. Number two, Satan is not my God, number two.
Well, you're never going to be free then as long as you believe that.
I do have anger because I was created to have emotions, and that is the emotion that I was given at birth. Right? And why would God give me an emotion that am I supposed to have that I have to get rid of?
That emotion that you have, you were not created to have emotions, and you were not created with emotions. You were recreated.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
I can't help you there. Just suffer until you're ready to be free. If that's a lie, why are you asking me for help and I'm telling you where to look and you're saying that's a lie?
Why?
Yeah.
Because you're a human being and you say things that's not necessarily 100% true.
Then if it's not true, then go to believe. If it's not true,
I'm asking you.
If it's not true, what I'm saying, then go the way that you're going and just suffer until you're ready to hear the truth.
But here's the thing, Jesse. People say things all the time. You never know who's being true or not.
Russ.
I listen to
Russ. Why don't you drop your anger to see if it's true?
It's not. I'm not. You're saying this like I am 100% angry all the time. That's not my
Russ,
situation.
why don't you drop your anger to see if it's true or not? What I'm saying, if you want to be free, you must drop the anger. You must forgive. Why don't you give that, since the way you're trying it is not working, why don't you give that a try and see what happens?
Because you telling me to drop my anger.
Yeah.
For me, you saying that to me is like for somebody to tell me, stop breathing.
So then why is that?
No. When I say I have anger, you have no clue the degree of anger that I have. But that's down deep inside of me. I don't let that out unless I need to in order to survive.
Well, one thing I can promise you.
There are times when you have to have that in order to protect yourself. I was attacked recently, and I have a broken back. And it was my anger that made me swing to protect myself. Okay. And again, I didn't just jump in front of somebody and just start swinging and punching at them.
Russ,
I did that
I don't want to hear all your
survive.
bitching. Hold on. Either you want to be free or you don't. The solution to become free within is to drop the anger. If you don't believe that, just hold on to your anger and justify it and see when you ever become free within, as long as you have the anger, just hold on to it. I don't know why you're asking me and when you're not going to even try what I'm suggesting to you.
See, but that's not what I'm trying to come across at, Jesse. I'm not saying that I'm not listening to you. I'm listening to what you say, but I evaluate what you say. And if you're asking me to do something that's not possible, then it's not possible.
If it wasn't possible, I wouldn't be suggesting.
I don't project.
Why you say that it's not
out.
possible to overcome your anger? Why you saying that? Why do you say that's not possible?
Because there are aspects of my personality that I have no control over. Just like breathing.
So you believe the anger is you?
I believe that's a part of me, and that's why every person has it when they're born. That's a part of every person that breathes.
Well, if
as
long as you believe that is you, and you identify with it as you will continue to live in the hell that you're living in. I'm telling you that it's not you at all, but you believe that it is, and you're saying everybody has it, and they do, but they were not born that way. They were recreated that way when they came through the mother. But if you're saying that that's your identity...
Why do you do that? Why do you do that, Dusty? Why do you blame
Russ,
everything
I got to run, buddy. Call me
women?
again. Call me again, all right? He doesn't want to. Just suffer until you're ready to hear
Russ
the
trying to
truth.
fuss.
Think about that. He called, he asked me, he wanted to be a Christian. He want to overcome the conflict. But then every time I'm telling him, drop the anger. And he's arguing about that. What Suffer, Russ, until you're ready to overcome. And I understand most people love their hell. They love that misery that they have. And they love arguing and inflicting them on others so they can feel alive. Everything that kills me made me feel alive. Everything that kills me made me feel alive. People love their pain because it makes them feel alive. Thank you, Russ. Just suffer until you're really, really ready to be free. You're not your anger. You're not the emotions. It didn't come from God. You were not born that way unless your mother was angry during pregnancy and she passed that on to you in the womb. But you weren't born that way. Suffering is not from God. Suffering is straight out of hell. It's straight out of hell. I understand. Most people love their hell, and I'm okay with that, really. And there are people who don't love their hell, and they hear about, oh my God, I didn't know I had to go forgive mama. I didn't know I had to go forgive my father. Well, their father been blamed all along. But you can forgive, apologize for hating. That's what forgiveness is, and be free, or you can keep it and suffer the rest of your life. God's not going to interfere with it. I'm not going to interfere with it. I'm not holding it against you. He's not holding it against you. Satan is your daddy. He's your God. Anyone that has fear, just know Satan is your God. Because hate is of the devil, is of the evil spirits. We are spirits. Super chat. Super. And Rush, when you're ready, just forgive. Give it a try. See what happens, buddy. It's just that simple. Super chat.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How you?
Doing well. How you?
You ready for Wow at 11?
Walking on water today. Let's go.
What are you gonna do?
Man, we're gonna be doing a little. We're gonna be doing a little dancing, having a little bit of Yiddish. I got my bar mitzvah.
Amazing.
So there'll be some.
So he is. We discovered from his mother last week that Hassan is Jewish. He's white. He's Allahu Abba color. And I think.
And most importantly, an American Christian.
And I think he got some black in him, too.
Terrible.
Anyway, Super Chat.
Over on buymeacoffee.com.
That's at 11 a.m. today for W.W. Hassan. Wow. All right.
Walking on Water Hassan.
Thank you, sir.
Mike Young bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, how many ribs do you think that Big Mama Michelle ate on Labor Day?
Michelle loves her ribs. Watch out, pigs. Amazing. Thank you, Mike.
Hannes O'Callaghan bought a coffee. Biblical question.
What is your state of mind?
In the beginning, my mindset was to seek truth above all else. Now it's to just observe and be quiet.
I appreciate you responding. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday if the Lord is willing and the creek to rise. Thank you.
This one is from yesterday as well. Stan69 donated an Injigini saying JLP is imposing the South on the West. It should be called Country and Southern Tuesday. What a mess. Come on.
Repeat that.
You're imposing the South on the West because there's like Western stuff that you're rejecting because you didn't have it down south where you were. Western stuff like on the horse.
Oh.
Yeah, that's too Western for you. You keep it simple Southern.
Yeah. Though I appreciate Daniel really, Brad, I understand. And we will have a whole bunch of stuff at times, but, I mean, I didn't have wood on my horse. I didn't have all that stuff, so.
And country and Western refers to the music.
Right.
Not necessarily the horse.
No.
And the cowboy JLP.
But thank you. I appreciate it. What the?
Evil is Real bought a coffee yesterday. Jesse, call me privately. There is so much I can teach you. From Jesus, those who say they saw me in a private room, do not follow them. But seriously, call me in private so I can teach you. I will not give you my phone number, but just ask the Holy Spirit to give it to you. Maybe ask in private. But thanks for all you do. I still do not know how you and Hake are so wise, yet your audiences are so very R-worded.
What the?
Whatever, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Elias or...
by the way, I happen to have a very wise audience. Some, not all, of course, but a lot are. And they are, because they are starting to overcome the fallen state. They really, really are, men and women. So, but thank you.
Yeah. Elias or Elias Leal bought a coffee, 5 coffees to be specific. Amazing sing, JLP. Voice is amazing.
Everything that kills me made me feel alive. Baby, I've been... Amazing. Thank you.
Okay, nice. Mike Young bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, I have a question for Mr. Lockwood. This is yesterday during Bill Lockwood. Sorry, Mike Young. Hello, Mr. Lockwood. What do you think about the increasing black support for President Trump, especially since Trump's amazing mugshot?
Nice. It's amazing. Thank you, Mike.
A cash app from Jalen. Thanks, Jesse. And Chad Shin, cash app. Amazing work. Generous donation.
Amazing.
Thank you, man.
Thank you all.
And there's a couple more super chats, but I don't think we have time right now.
I know we got to take a break. 888-775-3773. 2 more hours to go. Hake is coming up with hate news, not the fake news. I'll be back. And I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy. They're miserable. They have rough lives. They're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Prison escape. It's been like a week. They're going to catch him? I think they might. Proud Boys get decades in prison for J6 terrorism. And Mitch McConnell is going to address his health today. He's clammed up twice. Maybe he already has addressed it. Biden's student loan spoiling program, whole lot of enrollees, and maybe some Ukraine propaganda for you. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Wednesday, September 6th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour two. Jesse Lee will be right back. But first, Hake news, not fake news. There is one line open. You can call in during this break here to get on hold and to get on air with your question or comment. 888-77-JESSE, 1-888-775-3773. Prison escape. Comedy Nonsense Network CNN reports a Pennsylvania community is on edge as they search for escaped convicted murderer Danilo Cavalcante. Cavalcante enters its seventh day. The 34-year-old convicted murderer escaped from Chester County Prison on Thursday. He's not the first one, by the way. He shimmied up the wall, they think, between two narrow walls. Initially launching authorities on a multi-day search, around 200 law enforcement personnel combing through the neighborhoods, heavily wooded areas as well, in the state's eastern district, hoping to keep Cavalcante moving and force him to make a mistake. The manhunt has forced school closures as police advise area residents to keep their doors and cars locked. He's been in people's houses, I heard, allegedly. Warning that the man is extremely dangerous. Cavalcante was convicted of first-degree murder August 16th in the killing of his former girlfriend. I think he stabbed her 38 times or something. Convictedly, right? Whatever that means nowadays. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole, and I think he escaped within a couple weeks of that. Anyway, former Proud Boys leader, speaking of criminals, Enrique Tarrio. But he was born Henry Tarrio, but Henry is Enrique in English or Spanish, whatever. Yeah, English. Was sentenced on Tuesday to 22 years in prison yesterday. Longest sentence given to anyone in relation to the January 26th, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol, which he did not participate in at all. But maybe he helped plan mess. I don't know. The judge said maybe he helped plan to fight with Antifa if Antifa showed up, but they didn't. A judge said Tarrio organized the far-right, center-right Proud Boys group. Some of them are kind of far-right. That was at the front of the Capitol riot, breaking past barriers, smashing windows to let rioters inside the historic building. The first breaches eventually led to Congress evacuating, temporarily halting the certification of the 2020 presidential election results, which were totally on the up and up. He was found guilty of seditious conspiracy and leading a failed plot to prevent the transfer of power from our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, to sleepy Joe Biden. Several other members of the Proud Boys, or at least a few, so-called leadership, were also found guilty of seditious conspiracy and sentenced last week, two of whom received 18 and 17 years behind bars and one 10. Mitch McConnell, Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, Rhino, is expected to address his health today during a closed-door GOP conference meeting after two recent health scares in front of TV cameras. Last week, the 81-year-old Kentuckian stood silent for another 30 seconds in the middle of a news conference, the second time he's endured a frozen on-camera moment since July. The Capitol's attending physician Brian Monahan said in a letter released by McConnell's office Tuesday there's no evidence he had a seizure disorder or that he experienced a stroke or a movement disorder such as Parkinson's disease after he was evaluated by a group of 4 neurologists. We wish him well, right? The rhino that he is. Student loan brainwash leeches. 4 million people have enrolled in Biden's student loan repayment program, SAVE, all caps, S-A-V-E, lower their monthly bills, supposedly. Launched earlier this summer because payments are going to start in October after the scam-demic pause. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
got to stand up strong. Think the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Manhood Hour is coming up in the third hour. Welcome to the show, second hour. It is Wednesday. There are two lines open if you want to get involved at 888-7753. 773-888-77-JESSE. My biblical question for this week. My biblical question. What is your state of mind? What is your state of mind? Isn't that an amazing question? Yes, Jesse, that's an amazing question. We have every way that you can watch. Excuse me. You can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about traveling, it's Socialism Week, right? I know some people went on vacation and all that. If you're out and about, you can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. That's 641-793-1500 on your iPhone or iPad. And don't forget to follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv/JLP. All right, and to donate and have your super chats comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, and Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. All right? Amazing. And I know we got to finish up the super chats from the beginning. And we're going to get to those in a minute here, all right? I just want to say this about the wall. I talked in the first hour about how crazy it is in my country out there, but I totally understand it. I now understand it. I want you to understand it by understanding what's happening inside of you, all the conflict that's going on in you, in your imagination and emotions. The same thing is happening in the so-called people the people that supposed to be working for us. It's the same thing. And you're just seeing an outer expression of what's happening inside of them. It's the same thing. And it's not going to get better until the hearts and minds of the people change. It's just not going to get better. It's amazing. And I talked to you about how over in Israel that Benjamin Netanyahu is saying, you know what, we're going to ship y'all, those African people who are over there fighting and carrying on, we're going to ship y'all back to your country. We're not going to put up with that mess, and we're going to build a wall. He's throwing around the idea of building a wall, according to Times, CBS, Times of Israel and CBS. No, I'm sorry, Times of Israel and PBS. Well, we need a wall. If ever we need a wall, we need it like right now. The CBS is reporting U.S. Border Patrol agents said they have noticed a spike in acts of violence from smuggling organizations attempting to cross into the United States. Watch this from CBS.
U.S. Border Patrol agents say they've noticed a spike in acts of violence from smuggling organizations attempting to cross into the U.S.
During one of the latest incidents, they say a group of people fired their guns at Border Patrol agents.
U.S. Border Patrol says these are dangerous and armed criminal groups who are trying to smuggle people in.
They actually received gunfire from the direction of that group.
A group of U.S. Border Patrol agents were targeted on August 18. They were patrolling the Otay Mountain Wilderness area in East County when they came across a smuggling group carrying guns. That's when the group opened fire before attempting to cross into the U.S.
The backup agents also reported gunfire and witnessed muzzle flashes.
Border Patrol agent Justin Castrojón says the agents were able to escape without injuries, while the criminal groups fled back to Mexico. But it's sparking concern for the level of violence they're recently encountering at the border.
We have seen an increase in acts of violence here along the San Diego sector.
Just last week, Border Patrol reported seeing a person armed climbing the border fence in the same area. A day later, 2 more people were seen in the area with rifles.
Amazing. So the next time someone ask, why do they leave the borders open and knowing all this is happening? Your reply should be because they want to. They want it that way. They don't have to have it that way. They want it that way. Our government want it that way. They want chaos and confusion so that they can receive perceived power and wealth. It's about that. It's all about the money. Follow the money trail. Isn't that something? The agents that are protecting us the best that they can are being attacked. And nothing, oh, okay, whatever. And violence is not the only issue down there. Yahoo is reporting 2 U.S. senators from California are asking the federal government to provide emergency funding to try and stop constant sewage flows that originate south of the border but end up on the U.S. side out into the Pacific Ocean, contaminating beaches and the coastline. Watch this compilation.
People gathered for a Stop the Sewage rally at a central beach in Coronado. Both the Coronado and Imperial Beach shorelines closed this weekend due to polluted waters. It's the 3rd holiday weekend that sewage contamination has kept people out of the water.
Just since Tropical Storm Hillary less than 2 weeks ago, more than 2.5 billion gallons of sewage-contaminated water has flowed from Tijuana into South Bay waters here in San Diego. And just on Monday, some 20,000 gallons of raw sewage spilled onto the street from the Hollister Street pump station near the border.
Protesters chanted, holding signs that read, "Clean water is a human right," and "Stop the dump."
What do we want? Stop the sewage! When do we want it? Now!
For decades, cross-border sewage contamination from the Tijuana River has plagued the South Bay. One protester showing up in a hazmat suit to make her frustration loud and clear on just how much of a hazard this contamination is.
This is the crap, excuse the expression, that people are dealing with when they go in the water. It's impacting our health, our economy, our Navy SEALs, people who work around here, and we're sick of it.
Thought if it ever made it up here to where tourism is key, that something will get done, but still nothing.
We need President Biden and Governor Newsom to say enough is enough. We're going to come here. We're going to help you. We need emergency, immediate measures now. So pay attention.
Why the women lead the way? It ain't gonna get better. Devils fighting devils. That's all it is. The government can care less now. And I wonder how many of those people voted for the government that we have. How many voted for the government that we have? What a mess. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Dimitri out of Indiana. Dimitri, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing today?
All is well, sir. How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
Good.
Hey, I was just listening to you, the last brother that I called. I wanted to talk about something, but I wanted to say that you were saying that, you know, how the Lord, when you go through things that, you know, that basically is not, that the Lord doesn't put us through anything, that it all comes from the devil. Is that what you were saying? That, you know, like anger comes from the devil, it doesn't come from the Lord?
Yeah, anger is of your father, the devil.
Of who father?
Anyone that has it.
Right. But, you know, like, that's technically wrong because, you know, like, we are human, right? And another big thing is that's why we are allowed repentance on a daily basis. Remember?
I don't understand what you're saying.
So we allow. That's why. Remember last time I called, I was talking about. That's why we read our Bible on a daily basis, and that's why God allowed us to repent on a daily basis because we are human and we do go through things. We live in life, so we are going to be angry. We are going to have emotions at times, but that's why.
Where you get
God
that from?
allows us.
Where you get that from?
From the Word of God.
And so the Word of God said that you're going to be angry and emotional, and so repent on a daily basis?
Yes. So we
where did you get it from that God gave you anger?
God didn't give us anger, but
where did it come from?
That we are.
Where did it come from? Where did it come from?
It came from His Word. That repentance.
Where did the if anger did not come from God, where does it come from?
He knows that we're going to be angry. He knows that we're going to have
If anger did not come from...
That's why He allows us to repent on a daily basis.
If anger does not come from God, where does it come from?
It comes from our emotions because we're human. We're human. So just like the brother said before...
And where does your emotions...
We're all going to have... Or sometimes we're going to... Like, you remember last time we talked about food?
Dimitri,
like if I'm waiting in line...
Hey.
Yeah.
Calm down. Where in the Bible does it say repent on a daily basis?
It said repent. Even it said Revelation 3:19, to those whom I love, I rebuke and discipline. So be earnest and repent.
Where in the Bible does it say repent on a daily basis?
It says it. I've seen it before. I don't have the exact scripture, but I know that repentance is a daily thing, and that's why
you read in the Bible. You read in the Bible it says repent on a daily basis.
Yeah, and also
where
read the Bible on a daily basis.
Where did you read that? Hallelujah. Where did you read that in the Bible?
You said what's that?
Where did you read that in the Bible to repent on a daily basis?
Just like it said to read His Word on a daily basis.
You're not answering my question. I'm asking, where did you read that in the Bible?
I don't know the exact scripture.
You know why you don't know? May I tell you why?
Listen, hold on. But even this, it say produce fruit in keeping with repentance. So in order to have the fruits of God in us, we must repent.
Dimitri? What good is it doing Dimitri to have anger?
Because I'm human, so we all make mistakes. We can't tell
Dimitri. What good is it doing Dimitri to have anger?
Jesse, I get mad sometimes.
What good is it doing Dimitri to?
So is that wrong?
Dimitri, what good is it doing Dimitri to have anger?
Because I'm human, because it shows that I can get angry.
Dimitri, I need to ask you one more time, and you're not responding to the question for some reason. What good is it doing Dimitri? What good is coming out of being angry?
Because Dimitri could go back to his father and repent and ask for forgiveness.
Dimitri, I got to run. Thank you for your call, buddy.
I bet.
All right. He won't even answer the question. And it's not Bible Thumping Thursday. That's tomorrow. Call me back tomorrow, Dimitri. I have a little bit more time with you for Bible Thumping Thursday. Let me go to Josh out of Georgia. Georgia on my mind. Isn't that a mess? The water, our government, of whom work for us, is allowing the water in our country to be contaminated, coming from Mexico. And they don't care. And the people stand out and they hold their cell phones and they protest and they wear gas masks and pretend. And that's all going to happen. We now have a third world country. Hello, third world country. Welcome to America. And the people protest. Amazing. Let me go to Josh out of Georgia. Georgia on my mind. Josh, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jesse.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Josh?
Doing fine, man. Doing fine.
Good, man.
Yep. I was calling to answer the biblical question.
What is your state of mind? What is your state of mind?
It seems like I don't have one because it's always changing and I can't control it.
It seemed like you don't have a state of mind?
Yeah, it seems like,
So if you don't have one, what's changing all the time that you can't control?
The thoughts that are being fed to me from the demon in me are constantly changing, making me think I have a state of mind. And I think, all a state of mind is an idea about what I'm thinking, right?
Well, I can't respond to the question. So
Right.
what does it mean to have, when I ask, what is the state of mind? What does that mean to you?
It means like what am I thinking right now? Basically, like sometimes my state of mind is being productive, working, or doing something, to help me. And other times my state of mind is doing stuff that will destroy me. Like you were just singing that song, or everything that makes me feel alive.
Everything that kills me make me feel alive.
Yeah, that's my state of mind sometimes. Sometimes that's my state of mind.
Everything that kills you makes you feel alive?
Yeah, all of the things that feel good, they're bad for anything that makes me feel good is lying to me, and they're bad for it. It destroys me in the long run, but in the short term, it feels good.
Ooh, amazing!
Yeah.
And so your answer to the biblical question, "What is your state of mind?" is what make it. Give it to me again.
I don't have a state of mind. It's an illusion that I have a state of mind because that's what the demon in me uses to control me and destroy me.
Okay, that's interesting. I'll put my little. It's an interesting question, huh?
Yeah. Because that's the thing about all these biblical questions.
Yes,
I'm in a state of mind right now. Tomorrow I may be in a different state of mind, and my answer may change. So
what a mess.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Josh. And I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. All right.
All right. Sounds good, man. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Amazing. It's amazing to me, and I understand it. When I say amazing, it's just amazing. But I understand it, that there are human beings who believe that anger is good. And that anger, because everybody has it, is natural. But yet the Lord wants you to repent. But it's natural. How can you believe God gave you anger? Though I understand why you believe, but why don't you question that? Why would you want to serve a God that would give you anger? Why? That's not love. Look how mothers treat their children due to anger. They don't love the children. Ron is out of Texas. Ron, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Ron.
How's it going?
All is well, sir.
Good. So just want to make an announcement right quick.
Hold on, Ron. I don't know what your announcement is, and I wasn't aware of that. Hold on, I'm going to let Sean talk to you, and I'll come back to you. Super chat. Super chat.
Over on buymeacoffee.com, Evil Israel says, so many men calling in and not asking stupid like advice because they ruined their like by thinking like a woman.
What?
I don't know. Maybe he's using like because some of people like say like too much.
Oh.
I'm not sure. But just men talking about stuff this hour. I think this is yesterday. We know it is not Manhood Hour because Manhood Hour is trying to teach a woman how to think. May as well try to help a rock how to think properly, he says. Well, I was amused anyway. Devin Mose, thank you, man.
But that's not true. There are women that are overcoming. Believe me. I talked to them at the Women's Forum, in counseling, in the fellowship, and around the world. There are women who really, really are changing. Believe me. And more so than the men, to be honest. Women are starting, they just didn't know. They just did not know. That's the only deal. And now they know they need to go and forgive their mothers. They're doing it, shaking in their boots, but they're doing it, and returning to their fathers, and they're waking up. Amazing. Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Devin over on Cash App, cash.app. Bond JLP.
Bond JLP. Bond JLP.
Yep. Devin says, I love Tony from California. He black.
He black.
Evil is real this morning bought a coffee. Blackness and freedom, obviously not compatible, he says. Should we send them back to Africa or re-enslave them and put them back into the cotton fields until they learn to stop complaining? Or should we keep trying to teach them math and science and civility for another 400 years and hope they can finally learn?
I don't know if we have that much time. I think we should ship them back and build a wall.
Elizabeth Pack.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Pack bought 33 coffees, of course, 33.
Thank you.
Just appreciate your work, sir. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Someone bought a coffee. Superior Dave is Jesse's favorite alpha male. He says, again, best man for any task. The man with the most reliability and trust. Superior Dave is the best of the best.
Who is Superior Dave?
He's a guy who's called into your show before, I do believe. He's older than Super Dave, who's Canadian. This man is not.
Amazing. Thank you.
Delilah Sion speaks out, bought a coffee. Jesse, all I do is talk about you. Been watching around 2015. Watch you at work and at home. My friend and family think I am hypnotized. I genuinely love you and every one of your team who love you. What should I do with this hypnotization? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
That's from Sion?
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Sion. That's amazing. I love you, too. I appreciate you.
And no advice on the hypnotization.
Do the silent prayer.
Nice.
And watch those thoughts and just let them pass. Really. Of ourselves, we can do nothing. Of ourselves, we know nothing. That was thank you, Sion. I really appreciate it. That was an interesting call by Rod. He said he tried to work on himself. He realized there's nothing he can do. Only God can do it. And I'm telling him, let go and let that happen.
Uh-huh.
He arguing.
Yeah. He does like to argue. He's in his head about jumps to conclusions about how he sees reality and himself.
Stop all that fuss, Russ. Thank you, Sion.
He thinks that you're acting like he's going around angry all the time, constantly, really, really mad.
But I never said any of those
things. I know,
things.
yeah. Delilah with another coffee. Delilah Sion speaks out, that is. I don't even agree with you on religion, but I love everything about you. I see the love in you, and maybe that's what it is. I'm seeking for the love of the Father. I have to come hug you. Hands up emoji with a celebration. I can't breath. LOL, lots of laughs. Thank you.
Thank you. See, I have to do what I do what the liberals tell the kids to do. Hug yourself.
And for those listening on the audio podcast, JLP is wrapping his arms around himself.
Don't you see the liberals telling the kids, "Oh, I'm so proud of you. You really did well today. Hug yourself." I even seen some churches do that.
Terrible.
Hug yourself. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Jeremy bought 5 coffees with no message. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And thank you, guys. I do believe that is all for now.
Amazing. Amazing. Let's go all the way out to Israel. Speaking of Israel. And don't forget, Hake is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning, right after my show. Speaking of Israel, let me go to Tomer. First-time caller out of Israel. Tomer, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, how you doing?
Great to talk to you.
You too.
I'm fine, thank you.
Right on.
All is well.
Nice.
I wanted to talk about what you said about Israel. First of all, I want to say I agree with the 99.9999% of what you say.
Amazing.
But about Israel, the situation is not. You're not right about it. I understand you think about the best of your United States, and I agree. The wall, you need to build a wall in the United States.
Yes.
But in Israel, this problem, it's already 20 years we know about this about to happen. They bring the cheap labor from Africa. They have paperwork. Anyway, this prime minister we have here is already 20 years in office. So he did not solve the problem. He created the problem. So you don't want him.
Who created the problem? Prime Minister, are you saying that Benjamin Netanyahu created the problem?
Yeah. At least he did not solve it because everybody saw it coming.
He created it by allowing the illegal aliens to come in?
They're coming with paperwork. They're doing the jobs that Israelis don't want to do. They are washing dishes in all the restaurants here. And now suddenly he said he will build a wall. He's like he's a politician. He says stuff. I don't know how you buy this because it's like if he will be in the United States, he will be the most rhino person. He says one thing, and the problems he probably created, or at least he did not solve it. Because there's whole cities of people with status of not legal but legal. You have also a lot of problems in the United States, but in Israel, this is an issue for a while. People know about it, and there is a war in Africa, in Eritrea, this country, and they have war between themselves.
I don't
know exactly.
Tomer, doesn't Israel have a wall around it? There's a wall around a portion of Israel?
Well, of course, we're surrounded by all the Muslim countries. So Israel has very secure border, also walls, also fences, a lot of police.
Right.
So it's not like by accident all these people come. They know exactly what's coming in.
And so isn't he talking about, according to this report, putting a wall around Jordan now, the borders of Jordan because of what's happening?
The borders are very secured in Israel. They are small. It's like the size of LA, this whole country. So we control it.
And so
they know who's coming in and who's not.
What do you think he should do? What do you think Benjamin Netanyahu should do right now?
I think these politicians, they talk and they don't do anything.
Oh, okay.
And I stop blaming the politicians because the people keep voting the same problem.
Yeah. You know what? I gotta take a break. Tomer, call me again about this or whatever. All right, I want to talk to you about it.
I can wait.
I have a guest coming up.
Okay.
Call
Sir,
me again.
It was great talking.
You too, buddy. Back in a moment. We disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Okay, welcome back. 888-7753. 888-7753-773. I have a guest. She's late like a black person, and but she's white. You white, right?
Yes, I am, yeah.
But you were late like a black person.
Yeah, I would like to say I was not on time, but I was in time.
Let me say to the callers, I see you on hold there. We got to get to you here. My guest was set for the top of the hour, but due to traffic and stuff, she was a little late. I have with me Chrissie Mayr, a New York native. Chrissie is a stand-up comedian and podcaster. And we're going to she's going to tell you all about all of her podcasters and comedian stuff and all that. I was on your show.
Yeah, a few months ago.
Welcome back. Welcome here for the first time in studio.
This is very exciting. It's exciting to meet you in person. I was in the lobby looking at the White History Month shirts, just cracking up.
Amazing. Did you celebrate White History?
I did, but probably not as much as I should have. I think the best way to celebrate would be to get my taxes in early, which I didn't do.
You didn't do that either?
No, I'm kind of behind a couple of years.
What?
I'm going to do it, though.
Well, white people could get away with that. They're telling me to have you move a little bit more to your right. To your right, yeah.
Oh, right. I don't know left from right.
I'm sorry they didn't do this beforehand. So tell us about you, your podcast, what you do, for those who might not know.
I'm a stand-up comedian, been doing stand-up about 13 years, and then January of 2020 started a podcast. And then when the pandemic hit, I've decided to go from once a week to like 4 times a week, as many times as I could. And in my podcast, I mostly focus on just interviewing sort of canceled people or people very misunderstood by the internet. Anyone who gets the same insults that I do, like transphobe or racist or, any of the insults we all get like every day on the internet. And it's been so great. I'll interview, comedians to political people to other podcasters to, the occasional adult film star to mix it up. So it's a good variety.
And you host a late night show, a night show called. I have kids watching, so I can hardly say
I have
it.
a show on Mondays on Compound Media. It's called The Wet Spot. I wanted it to be like old school Howard Stern, how they would have like comedians on and like adult film stars on. And it's funny, like now I'm a married woman and it does feel kind of like funny to still be hosting a show like that. But, we mix it up. I have my serious interviews. I have my fun wet spot show. I do stand up. I do like a one-on-one interview. So I have a range. I have something for the whole family, I like to think.
On West Spot?
Definitely not on that. That show is really more adult. That show is more adult, but it's fun.
Tell folks how to get your podcast and whatever else.
Yes. Go to ChrissieMayr.com for my stand-up dates, and then you can watch my podcast. There's the Compound Media one, which is just on CompoundMedia.com. And then my other podcast, mostly it's on YouTube, but Spotify, SoundCloud, Rumble, Rockfin, Twitter, all of the places, basically.
And that's Chrissie Mayr. All right. So, are you conservative? Is that right?
I think people would consider me conservative just because I am kind of pro-speech, pro-free speech, kind of anti-woke. I don't dance around the supposed victim groups. I like to believe that everybody is fair game to be made fun of in stand-up, so that puts me in the conservative category. But maybe there are definitely aspects of me which have become more conservative over the years, but I don't know that I would put myself entirely in the conservative, category. But it just seems like that's what most people sort of default to because they're like, well, she's definitely not on the left, so yeah.
You support freedom of speech?
Yes.
Amazing. I have an example of you supporting that. You were chased out. I mean, some people walked out on one of your shows one time, right?
Yes. I
something?
walked a table of what I like to affectionately call land whales. I walked a table of large liberal women from a show I did in Dallas back in May, and I was recording in the back with my cell phone, and thank God, they were right in frame. I posted the clip of them heckling me and then walking out, and it went viral, and it was way more than I thought. It was on New York Post, Daily Mail, Fox News. My inbox was flooded with more people calling me a transphobe because it was all based off of kind of a joke or a riff I was doing about Dylan Mulvaney. And I was saying, well, why has it been a year of girlhood and still no boobs? Like, how is that not the first thing you would go and do? And I was saying, if I was going to go be a dude, I would get the biggest, schlong I could because I'm trying to like make up for lost time. Like I really I want to fit in. And I'm just like, why didn't Dylan get this? He's got all the money, all the resources, all the time. And some guy in the crowd yells out, "'Cause he's a man." And I said, yes, because he's a man. And this table of women was like, no, she's not. She's a woman. And then the crowd goes, whoa. And I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. This is America. We can all have different beliefs. Yeah. Some of us can believe in reality and some of us can't. And then the crowd was like, oh. Whoa. And then it kind of calmed down. I got through more of my set. And then kind of with 10 minutes left in my set, these women walked out, and I heard, F you, transphobe. And it was funny, because after they left, I was like, I was like, I hope you get to your car safely. I hope these women don't get harpooned in the parking lot because they're all like 300 pounds. So I'm basically like calling them fat their whole way out. I'm like, be careful, there's poachers out there, because when you're in the heat of the moment, someone's heckling you, you kind of don't really know what to say.
Right.
And everything feels like a gamble. And thank God the crowd was on my side, and it just was such a funny moment. And I thought to myself, why did it take them so long to leave? I was like, oh yeah, they all wanted to finish their French fries before storming out.
I have a sample that this is from Fox. Comedian Chrissie Mayr.
You were right the first time.
Released footage from her recent comedy set in Dallas where jokes poking fun at transgender Dogma caused some audience member to heckle her and leave the show in protest. Watch this from X.
Why has it been a year of girlhood and still no tits? That's day one, okay? Why no tits for Dylan? I don't understand. Because he's a man. Yeah, he can go tomorrow. Uh-oh. We have one of those. I figured. No, it's all good. We can all have different beliefs. It's okay. Some of us can believe in reality and some of us can't. It's fine. This is America. We should have different beliefs. It's all good. It's all good. Binary, we didn't have bisexual. We didn't have as many labels. It was just like, oh, you're not bisexual. You're just fun at parties. She's just a good time. Yeah, just like the real Princeton, I've let in some people I shouldn't have. I've let in some people because they were real athletic. You know what I mean? I saw potential. I let in some people just because they were Puerto Rican. They can't all be white, right? You have to see yourself represented in the pamphlet, sir. You can't, right? Because you see yourself coming here. The transphobe! Is that the best you can do? Make sure she gets home safe. I don't want those women to get harpooned in the neck on their way to their cars. I'm worried about their safety. There's poachers out there. They're gonna want their tusks. They were fat though, and that did help.
What a mess!
Woo.
So is your headset okay? It's not too loud.
Oh yeah, it's good. I just am constantly fixing my hair because I'm a woman.
Nice. Were you nervous when that was happening? What were you thinking?
I was like, your heart beats so fast, and I love doing crowd work. I came from an improv background originally before getting into stand-up, but anytime that happens, you have to be quick on your feet, and you have to address what's going on. You can't pretend people didn't just cuss you out and walk out of the room. You're thinking about so much. I'm thinking, God, I hope they paid their tab. God, I hope they're probably, and they did find a manager and talk to them about me. They ended up pushing all my merch off the table.
Wow.
They did. They stampeded through my merch like a couple of wildebeests. Then I'm also just thinking, how do I make fun of them? What's the best direction to take? How long do I address this for? Okay, is the crowd on my side? You're constantly going back and forth between like, okay, is this worth addressing or not? Because after the initial outburst of like, no, she's a woman, then she stopped talking and I went back to my material because you don't want to make the entire room about this one person.
Right, yeah.
And I have never kicked out a heckler in my 13 years of doing stand-up. I think it's my job to kind of charm everybody in the crowd and win them over. And unless someone's being really belligerent, which has never happened. I one time did a show where someone threw a sandwich at the stage, but I've never had to kick somebody out. So I thought, okay,
someone threw a sandwich at you?
At the stage, at my friend, actually. We were doing a show in Atlantic City. There was like a beer festival, and we were doing stand-up by the porta potties. Somebody thought that would be a great gig for us to do. And they were like, yeah, you're going to each do an hour. It was just the worst circumstance possible. And my friend, E. Marie, I guess, liked the wrong sports team. And then someone threw like an entire Subway sandwich at her. But I was like, I'm glad that's not me, and I'm not really into sports. But yeah, when you are on stage and you're getting heckled, there's a lot going through your mind, and you're just hoping that your riffs and like the things you're saying are going to pay off. And like luckily that night it did, and it made for a very good clip. And I was so happy that they were in the light and they were in the frame, and that they looked exactly like textbook, like liberal brainwashed women. I'm like, okay, this is funny looking.
Amazing. Because of time here, I had so much to talk to you about this all, but because you're late and making things short here. But I want to ask, are you a feminist?
I'm a reformed feminist. I graduated college very much a feminist, Democrat, very liberal. I was a social justice person, and I just found like over the course of my 30s, really, I was like, oh no, we need men. I can't put this air conditioner in the window by myself. Yeah. Just over time through living life, you kind of learn the hard way, like, oh no, I've been completely brainwashed, and I came around eventually.
Right on. And once you overcame that, did your feminist friends turn against you?
A little bit. I found more so my friends turned against me when I was an out Trump voter. That was a big moment when I went from hosting a show at a gay bar, the Stonewall Inn in New York City, to hosting a show on Compound Media, which is seen as like a right-wing network because of Anthony Cumia. A lot of friends turned their back on me when I was at January 6th. So it was kind of a few moments over a couple of years where a lot of my friends.
And how do you deal with that when it happens?
It was rough. I remember, I didn't go in the building or anything, but we were marching to the Capitol. I got one tweet out like, all right, we're just marching. And some producer, a comedy show producer, was like, I don't know what the LA comics are doing, but in New York, they're storming the Capitol. And that was a big moment for me, because I realized, I'm like, wow, people are going to take every opportunity to virtue signal and treat basically patriots as domestic terrorists. And everything we saw that happened after that day, from anybody who's at January 6th to parents who go to school board meetings. And I just realized, like, wow, oh my gosh, it was this whole thing.
Do you take it personal when people turn on you? Does it affect you inwardly?
I did at first, and then I realized, like, these people are not truly my friends, because if they were, they would have reached out directly and be like, look, it looks bad. I don't know why you were there, but maybe you could explain what brought you there. And I went to just cover the rallies in D.C. in November and December. And it really, sometimes it does kind of hurt, because I'm like, wow, I've lost a lot of friends, but I've gained so many better ones.
Nice. There are a lot of many, I guess, especially young women, who are not getting married. They're not having children. They're putting their so-called career ahead of all that. What do you think about that?
I understand the mentality, because I was very much on that path. Like, when I graduated college, I didn't think I would ever get married and have kids. It didn't help that my parents didn't have the greatest relationship. I looked at marriage as like you're signing up to have this person resent you for the rest of their life, and they're going to stop getting to know you. And your relationship is like a living thing. You have to water it. You have to fertilize. You have to like spend time on it. And so it was like my sort of feminist college training paired with my parents' relationship had me just not interested in any of that. And then it took me like meeting my husband, and I was like, oh, he's nothing like my dad. He's the sweetest, best person ever. He wants me to reach all of my goals. And you really just have to like trust, like it. And life is so much better when you find someone who has your back and is going to help you through. And life is a mirror. Your relationships are all a mirror. So even if you don't settle down with someone for the rest of your life, you're gonna date. You're gonna go from person to person, and they're gonna show you the same patterns about yourself over and over. You need that spouse to be like, here are your patterns, and here's how we work through them. Like, hey, you procrastinate. Let's work through that. Instead of like, if you're always constantly going on first dates and doing one-night stands, you as a person are, I think, less likely to like grow and become better and sort of evolve. And also, like, you're just going to be miserable, I think, for the most part. Very few women, I think, are cut out to be, like, single for life. You look at somebody like Chelsea Handler, who promotes, feminism and not getting married, not having kids. You always see pictures and videos of her like skiing down a mountain topless. It's like, well, okay, that's easy for you, Chelsea. You're a millionaire. But like most of us women, like we need a man, we need a partner, we need a second income. Because for most of us, there's no way you can afford to like buy an apartment or buy a house by yourself. You're just going to be like a slave to your boss and your 9 to 5 or whatever.
Well, even though she has a lot of money and can do all that financially, inwardly, she still yearns for a husband. It's like natural for women to want to be married and want to have a family. It's not an unnatural state. And so nothing will really take away that feeling.
I think so. I think like a lot of women are kidding themselves that they are okay by themselves. And I think you notice that a lot when you have to move or when you have to like do something regarding your car. You're like, oh, damn, I should have kept that boyfriend, you know?
Yeah. The last time I was on your show, you said, I suggested that you go and forgive your mother and return to your father.
I think it was my dad. Let me tell you, when I got engaged after our show together, and I involved my dad so much in the planning of my wedding, and I swear it really brought us so much closer. And Jesse, I just got the pictures back from my wedding. I should show you a couple if we have time. It was like the sweetest thing, and it felt so good to kind of like, I don't know. It's not that we went over every single thing, like, this is what you did in my childhood. And I just came to this place where I was like, look, like, these are his demons he's dealing with. I'm not the perfect person either. He literally is, all parents are just doing the best they can at the time with what they have, and kind of forgave him in some ways. And he did kind of like grow. And it doesn't have to be this like, I don't know. Looking back, I just was like hurt at the time, and so long story short, I think involving him in the planning of my wedding like really brought us closer together. So it was like a very sweet thing, and like he walked me down the aisle. He's like sobbing, and it was like,
nice.
All right, it was really sweet.
And did you forgive your mother?
Yes, yeah. It's an odd thing because she passed away 5 years ago.
Oh, that's fire, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Similarly to my dad, like these people are just there's no perfect person. Everyone's just like doing the best they can.
That's right.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so, what would be your suggestion to women who are having a difficult time overcoming that feminist mindset? They don't need a husband. They don't need children. They can do it on their own. What would you suggest for them?
I would say just like it's easy for you to understand, like it's all programming, right? And feminists get programmed the way they do because they get kind of hooked because like, oh, they tell you can't have whatever job you want. You can't do, you can't be a CEO. You can't work in whatever industry. Like just recognize that there's programming on both sides. And whether it's like your parents have a horrible relationship, or I think it's kind of just really keeping an open mind and separate your emotions and your issues and your past trauma. Don't let fear basically make all your decisions for you in life.
Absolutely. It's the fear. They got to overcome the fear.
Yeah.
Tell the folks again, we're so out of time so fast.
It's my fault. I was late.
Yeah.
Like a black person.
We're allowed to have you back. Tell the folks your website or whatever you want to put out there. Really
yes, come find me at ChrissieMayr.com. This weekend I'm headlining at the Pineapple Hill Saloon in Sherman Oaks Friday and Saturday. Then I'm in New York in Mayapack September 23rd, Minnesota October 21st. For tickets, go to ChrissieMayr.com. Check me out on Compound Media. And thank you so much for having me on.
It was good to be here. Thank you to have you here. Thank you. Back in a moment, folks.
Or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego. your reputation and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. The racist district in Alabama, first Florida, now Alabama. These judges are out of control. And your daily dose of Ukraine propaganda, Blinken is in Kiev. He's going to set things straight, right? Antony Blinken. After Biden asked for $24 billion more dollars in aid for the Ukraine war welfare. China virus hype is returning. Another mess. Extreme weather. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Wednesday, September 6th, 2023 AD. You just heard JLP talking with Chrissie Mayr. Very nice. Manhood Hour is coming up in the third hour here today. Every Wednesday, hour 3 is Manhood Hour. There are men on the line, and there is one line open. You can call in to get on hold, to get on air with JLP. You can be on hold right now, but you won't get on air before Hake News, not fake news. After the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, the Hake Report. And after the Hake Report, Wow Hassan, Walking on Water Hassan. Follow him on YouTube and click the bell to get notifications. And of course, American Anchor Baby on YouTube and Rumble at noon Pacific time today. The JLP network is growing. JesseLeePeterson.com/show, #network. For the info on all the different hosts. And of course, Men's Forum is first Thursday of the month. That's tomorrow, 7 p.m. at Bond in Los Angeles. Alabama, yesterday, a federal court struck down the latest congressional map, according to the far-left females at the Skim, drawn by Republicans. Back in June, the Supreme Court of the United States ordered the state to redraw its map with a second majority black district since Alabama's black population was found to be large enough for such nonsense, in my opinion. The GOP-led legislature then submitted a new map in July, still with only one majority black district. Now, a 3-judge panel said that the Alabama legislature failed to follow the so-called Voting Rights Act, which should be abolished. There's no such thing as voting rights. They said the map should create a second district where black Alabamians can have a fair and reasonable opportunity to elect candidates of their choice, communists, because they're blind, brainwashed, useful idiots for evil, right? The judges appointed experts. I'm shaking my head. To draft up a new map by next month. Alabama Attorney General's office said the state would appeal the decision to the Supreme Court. I mentioned on Monday how a Florida judge struck down a congressional district lines in Florida, advocated by Governor Ron DeSantis, that improperly diluted black voting power. Give me a break. Ukraine, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, not a Christian, I don't think, arrived in Kiev today for talks amid growing concerns that Ukraine's counteroffensive, much hyped, has failed to produce results. We want to see and hear how they intend to push forward in coming weeks, said a senior State Department official to reporters. The visit by Washington's top diplomat, top of the dung pile, right, comes less than a month after so-called President Sleepy Joe Biden asked Congress for more than $24 billion more to help Ukraine defeat Russia in the ongoing war. Some polls are showing that American public support for continued funding is beginning to soften. They're not for this mess, even with all the mainstream media pro-war propaganda. What a mess. Terrible. China virus propaganda with COVID-19 cases. Once again on the rise. Questions are being raised, says CNN in the passive voice, about proper prevention measures this fall. Some health experts are encouraging a return to masking. Mask up. Others believe an individualized, they say, approach to risk reduction is best. Many agree that the updated China virus vaccine, expected to be made available later this month, there's that passive voice again, will work well against the new variant BA.2.86. I'm rolling my eyes. Extreme weather. The world has experienced the hottest summer on record. How long have they been keeping records? Whoa. According to a new report from European Union EU's Copernicus Climate Change Service. June and July, very hot. And that's causing hurricanes, maybe. I don't know. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
Got to stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way, I know we can find a way, I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show. Already, you can get involved by calling 888-77-53773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse. Brand new biblical question for this week. What is your state of mind? What is your state of mind? Amazing question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show, jesseleepeterson.com/show. And don't forget to follow us on cozy.tv/JLP, cozy.tv/JLP, and JLP Talk on Twitter. JLP Talk on Twitter. All right? Amazing. It is Wednesday, and every Wednesday, the last hour of the show is Manhood Hour. What is a man? What is a man?
It's an adult human male.
Manhood. Hillary or President Trump?
I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Oh, beta. Beta male.
Oh,
The pie's sure good, Daddy. I had 2 pieces.
well, thanks for the tip.
I'll go clear the table, Mom.
Why don't we wait till Daddy finishes?
This school is so headstrong on telling girls to like cover up their shoulders or, stomach when those things are all pretty natural.
Students at a high school in Sacramento protested the dress code by wearing midriff-bearing tops and walking out of class.
In 1920, women didn't have the right to vote. He said, we should start a topless organization to support women like this that are fighting for their right because their bodies are a part of who they are. And
I'm Adra Boa, a model, founder of Girls Talk, and an advocate for female empowerment.
Oh, man.
Really amazing and empowering.
You mean we're going to have family worship every day?
Would you like that?
Sure. Can I pick out the verses for tomorrow?
Amazing. Manhood Hour. If ever there was a time when men were needed on earth, it is now. The women are going out of control due to the fathers not protecting them in the home while growing up from the mother. And then in the world, the men are not the light of the world. You were created to be the light of the world. I want to take some calls. I have a few people who've been waiting a long time. And but then I have 10 rules for men. It's Manhood Hour. I have 10 rules for men, and I want to know what you think about them, ladies and men. men and women. Let me know what you think. But first, I want to go to David out of Florida, first time caller. And David's been waiting a long time. Hey, David, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Well, thank you, Jesse. I just found your show and that on YouTube.
Are you on a speaker, David?
I'm in my hearing aids because I have to wear hearing aids to hear the phone.
All right, go ahead.
I'm sorry if they, you know.
Go ahead. We'll work with it. Go ahead.
Okay. I was a policeman in New York for 35 years, and I worked in the projects and that, and it was exactly the way you say it. And I don't care what anybody says, you're telling the truth. You are not lying to the black people of this country. You are the one voice that I really listen to. And what you say is true. It is not a lie. And these people that call you and say that you're picking on people, it's a lie. And I want to say, God bless you.
Well, I appreciate that, David. And what I want the blacks to realize is that it hasn't always been this way for them, and that prior to the civil rights movement, black people acted as though they had some sense. The black family was together for the most part, exceptions to the rule, but they have fathers and mothers together. They didn't have black leaders telling them how to think and what to do and when to do it. They were blaming slavery and all that crap. And until they come back to thinking and doing for themselves, it's not going to get any better for them. It's only going to get worse.
You're absolutely right. I went on the police department in 1964. And the black people then that lived in the communities and that, they were exactly the way you said. They were hardworking men and women.
Yeah.
They took care of their families. And when everything changed in the 60s, when they changed the welfare system where a single mother could get checks if she didn't have a husband or a man in the house, and that changed the whole black family.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely true. I lived this. Jesse, I'm 80 years old. I lived through all this.
Yeah, that's right, man.
You're not lying to anybody, and anybody that says you're lying doesn't understand the history of people in this country.
Yeah.
And I just want to say one other thing. I believe and I voted for the Great White Hope.
Right
and he
on.
tried his best.
The Great White Hope. Right on, man. If ever we needed the Great White Hope, we need him now.
Yes, sir, Jesse.
David.
And thank you very much. I don't want to hold you up too much. It's just I've been watching your shows, and I just fell in love with you. I thought you were one of the few good voices that I can see and listen to on that stupid television that I own. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
You too, David. Call me again, man. I appreciate you.
Okay, buddy. Bye.
All right. Bye now. He's right. You've been lied to, blacks. You've been lied to. It ain't about slavery. It ain't about Jim Crow. It ain't about systemic racism. You've been lied to. And then a lot of the black, they hear people from the old school who are telling them the truth, black and white people who are telling them how it was prior to the civil rights movement. They still don't want to believe it. Because once you believe a lie, unless you want to overcome belief of a lie, believing in a lie, it's hard to overcome it. There are literally people out there who believe, think about this, smoke on this. They believe anger is normal. They believe just because all humans are angry, that is normal. They believe it's from God. They believe God caused them to become emotional. Can you get any blinder than that? Can you get any blinder than that? And then in anger, nobody has peace, right? You do not have perfect peace if you have anger. You have fear. And they still think it's from God and I got to repent every day. That's insane, folks. That's totally insane. even God said that an angry person is a murderer. So if an angry human being, a murderer, and God say you're a murderer if you have anger, why do you think that's from God? Wake up. He said, don't even trust an angry person. An angry person cannot be trusted. So if God say an angry person cannot be trusted, an angry person is a murderer, wouldn't that like confuse you? Okay, God, the creator of all, you say that an angry person is a murderer, not to trust an angry person. Why would you give me anger? They won't even question that. Anger is not of God. It's not from God. Fear is not of God. It's not from God. It's from your God below, not the God above. God is love, not mama's love. That mama's love comes from your anger, the anger you have. That's why you're up and down. And it's crazy. 888-7753-773. That's what I'm telling all people, but especially the blacks, but not only, to pull away from the crowd, think for yourself, question what's going on inside of you, and you're going to understand what's going on inside of everybody in the world. And you won't resent them. You won't judge them. You will wish them well. Because you will see. You'll be able to see. Let me try Ron again. I forgot about Ron from Texas. Ron, let's try it again.
Hey, Uncle Jesse.
Did you give, but go ahead. No problem. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's good, man. I don't know why you're afraid of what I'm going to say, Jesse.
I'm not afraid of what you're going to say. You said you had an announcement, and I didn't know what your announcement was because Sean, you didn't tell Sean that I wasn't aware.
Yes, I did.
You told Sean. You just told him after I put you on hold, all right?
I told him before. He always asked. But anyway.
You told him you had an announcement to make?
After I told him what my announcement was.
Did you tell him you had an announcement?
I don't know if I used the word announcement.
Right, okay, so you didn't tell him then. But go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay, wow. Okay, the Beta Rhino Republican Governor Greg Abbott has announced a proposal to have the biggest tax cut in world history. And this is coming from a person you say is a Rhino Republican.
Why you call him a beta if he's going to do cut?
No, that's what you called him. That's what you called him.
Oh, I thought you said the beta.
I forgot to say quote unquote.
Oh, okay.
So he's not a beta. He's not a Rhino Republican. He's proposing the biggest tax cut in world history. 41% on land tax. So that man is not beta.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
And he's not Rhino.
Nice. Would you vote for him?
What you think about that?
If ever we need a tax cut, but he's doing it for Texas, right?
That's all he could do it for, sir. You want him to do it for California? You got to talk to your governor.
Hold on, right? If he's doing a tax cut, that's amazing.
Damn right it is.
Yeah, we need that in the country, really.
Yeah, but this guy here, you want to call him a Rhino? I knew you was misinformed when you was talking that noise a couple of years ago.
And why you say he's not? You say he's not a Rhino because he's cutting taxes?
Cutting taxes, shipping them illegal immigrants all over to these sanctuary cities.
Did he put
just the way Texas is being run? Texas probably has the best economy in the country.
Did he put the military around the borders there in Texas?
At that time, he couldn't there was none available because the government took them and put them in different countries.
Did he put the military around the borders in Texas?
I just said no.
Okay. Amazing. Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad that he cut in taxes in Texas. Lots of folks are moving to Texas. And the Democrats are slowly turning Texas into a blue state rather than red anymore.
As long as we keep governors like Abbott, we're going to be all right.
I hope so, man. Thank you,
All
Ron.
right.
I appreciate you.
All right.
All right. Amazing. Let me go to, there's a line open, 888-7753-773. Let me go to Dennis out of Bulgaria. Danny, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good day, Mr. Peterson. Thank you for taking my call. I hope you're doing well, sir.
All is well, Danny. Thank you.
Glad to hear. Mr. Peterson, I'm calling because I wanted to share my views about anger, about resentment and hatred and stuff like that. And you had a gentleman called your program saying that, it's only human and it saves your life and stuff like that. So you're 100%, you're absolutely right, Mr. Peterson. Anger does nothing good for you.
Right.
And I've heard people on your network, and not only on your network, say, I'm not angry all the time. No, the fact that I will say something and you will immediately get angry means that you're carrying it all the time.
Yeah.
You said it perfectly when you said it's like a tool, right? Like when you need a flashlight, you know where the flashlight is. You get in over there, you take it, use it, but it's a tool that you have at your disposal. Same with hatred and anger. The fact that I will just suggest something, and that happened to me with my family members. I just suggested something, and all hell came out. The fact that happened means that they're carrying it in them all the time.
Absolutely.
You may not use it all the time, but you have it all the time, like an ID. People don't even carry ID as often as they carry their anger.
Yeah, that's right on, man.
And when you said that about the whole thing, perfect peace, that means that you're just alive. It doesn't make you this immortal and invincible machine that you just walk and nobody can touch you. No, that means that you're at peace and you can see. Mr. Peterson, I don't know you. I've never met you personally, but I know you're running a business, which means that every now and then you have to raise your voice a little bit.
Yeah.
That's how the world works.
Yeah.
But you raise your voice a little bit. Doesn't mean you're angry at the person because, as you said, let's say there's somebody evil, somebody wants to hurt you. You're not angry at them because that's how they are at the moment. That's the nature that they have at the moment. And being angry or not being angry, you have nothing to do with it. It's just this person, and if you can see it, you avoid it. If you cannot see it, it means you're not aware of the situation, and if you're not aware of your surroundings, you're in the same state. So that's basically it. There's nothing magical about it. Like, if you walk this earth without anger, you're I've heard callers of yours saying it like you're walking like a psychopath or a sociopath. No, psychopaths and sociopaths are very into their emotions.
Yeah.
If they didn't have those emotions, they wouldn't go through all this planning. I've read about psychopaths spending years of their time planning how to kill some. Years of your time. Mr. Peterson, I bought an apartment in 3 years. I would never buy something if I had years to spend on somebody. I spend it on today. I don't have time for somebody else. So, on the contrary to what those people were telling you and probably others, no, having perfect peace means just living.
Yeah.
Living today. Tomorrow is in God's hands. Yesterday is for yesterday. You can get some lessons from yesterday, but that's about it. There's nothing to it. The fact that people can't see it, it means they still have their emotions. So if they are to be miserable, well, more power to them, sir.
That's
this
right.
This is my view.
You're absolutely right. And to add to that, either you have anger or you don't. It's not like, as you said, they say, well, I'm not angry all the time. But if you have it, you are angry. It's the wrong kind of spirit. It should not be a part of you. You were not created to be angry. And it's amazing to me the number of, and I understand it, but the number of people who have accepted being angry as a normal way of living. It's crazy.
Yep.
And especially with the Christians who think that it's from God. If God is of anger, Why would you want to leave another guy, Satan, because you're not happy, you're miserable, you're afraid, you have fear, you worry, and go to another guy that has the same spirit? It doesn't make sense to me. But the people believe it.
I had a grandfather. He died 2 years before I was born. I know this from my father. My grandfather used to say, being angry and hateful and vengeful, if you think that's normal, then you're like a baby that did its business in the diaper, and the baby thinks it's normal, but it's not. You just do it at the moment because that's how it is at the moment. But it's at some point you have to grow up.
Yes.
And figure it out. It's nobody's problem. My grandfather was a little bit of a vulgar man, but you have to agree he was right about this one.
Amazing. Danny, I appreciate your input about that, man. You're absolutely right. And there are men and women who are realizing that anger is not good, that it is evil, and they are going and they are forgiving and they are overcoming it. But there are most people who are not going to want to because they love their hell, so they make up excuses to stay in hell.
I agree. Mr. Peterson, thank you for taking the time to hear me out. Kind regards to your colleagues in the audience. God be with you, sir.
Thank you. You too, Danny. I appreciate it. Amazing. Thank you, man. Amazing. Let me go to, there's a line open, 888-7753-773. Let me go to Matthew out of Pennsylvania. Matthew, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello. How are you doing, Jesse?
All is well, sir.
Yeah, I've called a couple times. I've answered a biblical question in the past and stuff, and I kind of wanted to talk about the silent prayer. I don't really have as much of a question, maybe, but like it's more of a comment. I don't know. I always forget to do it, or I make excuses and stuff like that. Is it like? I was wondering if there was anything that, like, I don't know. Usually, you have something to tell people and stuff like that to help them, like, stay on the path and stuff like that.
Give me an excuse that you make to keep from doing the silent prayer.
Like, I don't know if I'll have enough time to get ready in the morning before work.
And do you what makes you think you are making that excuse?
Huh. Well, I don't know. I guess I thought it was a kind of like a practical thought. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I gotta make sure. You know what I mean? I do everything, have everything I need, and stuff like that, so I'm prepared for work.
And are you thinking that in your head, or are you saying that to yourself with your mouth?
Just in my head.
And so you're saying in your head, "I don't have time to go." But you're not moving.
Well, it's almost like I kind of forget because I just wake up and I'm like, all right, do I have everything? Like, what do I have to do first? But like, it's almost like, I don't know, maybe I should write it down or something like that. I try to have like a schedule and stuff like that. But like the conditions that I'm living in and stuff like that, it's not super easy. You know what I mean? Like,
well, the one thing I do want to tell you that's not you, that's convincing you to not do the silent prayer. That is the spirit of evil, the deceiver, which is the devil, the spirit of the devil telling you not to do it. But he sound like you. He giving you all these illusion of why you don't have time to do it, so that you will not be still and allow the light to cause you, the real you, to come out of the darkness of the imagination, of the thoughts and emotion. And as long as you listen to those voices, you will continue to live in the hell of those voices and not be free. But when you're tired of suffering inwardly, you'll start to do it, but maybe you need some more suffering. Maybe you want some more pain. Because if you really think about it, Matthew, you have time to do everything else. You have time to go to the bathroom, right?
Yeah, like, depending on, you know what I mean, like how much time I have, before I go to work, Do
you make time to go to the bathroom?
My schedule for work.
Do you make time to go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Do you make time to eat?
I have like a reserved time for everything, like in the morning, like go to the bathroom, eat, take a quick shower, everything and stuff like that. And I also don't work at the same time every morning.
And so
sometimes I could go to work at like 8 in the morning. Sometimes I go to work at like 11 in the morning. It's depending on like whenever they call me to come into work.
And so you have time to do everything, but the most important thing is to seek the kingdom of God, right?
See, that's what I mean. That's what I called.
What?
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't know why I needed to hear it and stuff like that, but
I would highly, suggest that you stop listening to the lie of the imagination that you don't have time to seek the kingdom, because he knows, the spirit of evil knows, that when you sit still and let go and let the light of God work on your behalf, he will have to depart from you. And he doesn't want to do that. Evil lives inside of human beings. That's why all human beings are evil until they overcome the spirit of anger. And evil knows that. And he knows that if you ever be still and let go, that he will have to depart from you. He doesn't want to do that.
I know what you mean too, because I feel like I'm like kind of drifting in and out. I know what you say about being all in. That's what I'm kind of like focused on trying to do now. But you also talk about like intellectuals and how they're always like there's that saying that if an idea is so dumb, it had to come from an educated person.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I've never like went to college or anything, but like just researching online and everything like that, and, you know, talking to older people my age, just trying to obtain as much information as possible. It makes it so much harder to not get lost in the thoughts whenever there's more information and more thoughts that are going on in your head.
And why do you need so much information to live?
Well, I don't. I just thought I did for a long time, and now it's just like I guess I'm just like putting more of an example on the point that you make about like people always like they chase knowledge and stuff, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily what you always need.
It's not necessary. That you only need some knowledge for practical reason: how to build a house, how to repair a car, or how to this. But you don't live by that. You just use it as a tool. When the car is built, you put the tool down. But you don't live by it.
Right. And I've noticed some people kind of just like they don't care about a lot of concepts, and they just kind of understand from like even like a really young age. And then some people, it's like they don't understand it like instantly, and then the ego gets involved, and it's like, well, go understand this other thing, and then people think you're smart or cool or whatever.
That's amazing.
It just makes it harder.
Yeah, I highly recommend, Matthew, that you get up every morning, early in the morning, and do the silent prayer, and then start your day, and you will start to see that your days are simple, you get a lot done, and you have a lot of time left because you're not living in time, you're living in the now, in the moment. And in the moment, in the present, everything is done already, and you're just living in it, and it's taken care of for you.
Right.
So I wouldn't let the imagination, which is evil, continue to talk me out of being still and knowing the truth.
Right. I've been doing it like more often recently. Like the past 2 mornings and nights, I did it, and that's I don't know. It has cleared up a lot and stuff. So I figured I'd call you and just like. I don't know, just to make sure I'm staying on the path and stuff, you know?
Yeah, stay on there, stay with it, I don't care what outer situation happens. I don't care how many times you go in and out of the thoughts. You stay with it. Just stay with it and stay with it. And it is working. And don't let the imagination or anyone tell you that it's not working. It is working. Just stay with it. If everybody else stop doing it, you just wish them well. And you stay with it. And your life will be amazing.
Thank you, Jesse.
And don't worry about what has happened or going to happen. You just stay with it. Start it now and stay with it. Stay with it, all right?
No doubt.
All right, man. Call me again.
For sure. I got you.
All right, buddy.
Have a good one.
You too.
Oh.
Bye now. 888-775-3773. Quick break. Back in a moment. There is a line open. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. Back in a moment. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true, it's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. Okay, folks, welcome back. 888-775-3773. 888-77-JESSE. JESSE. Busy morning today. After my show, at the top of this hour, the Hake report.com from 9 to 11 a.m. The guy with the good hair? The Hake, H-A-K-E report from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And at 11 a.m. every Wednesday, brand new show, Wow Hassan, with the two S's, Hassan. Wow. You don't want to miss it. It's exciting. At 11 a.m. every Wednesday from 11 to noon. And at noon, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at noontime. And the Men's Forum this Thursday, tomorrow night, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. The Men's Forum. Every Thursday. Every first Thursday of the month. Every third Thursday for ladies only. And Sunday mornings for everybody. You don't want to miss the shows today or any day, really. The American Anchor Baby is on fire. They're all on fire. He ain't an anchor baby for nothing. And don't forget for personalized shout-outs. A lot of people love the shout-outs to somebody. I do them myself. Birthdays, congratulations, encouragements, lots of encouragements. And congratulations, birthdays at Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson for personalized shout outs. All right. And I will do them. We have the best counseling service on this side of heaven for counseling by phone, Skype, or walk-ins. go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-2663, 800-411-BOND. Just make an appointment, all right? And for donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Before I go back to the phones, Super Chat. Super Chats.
Over on D Live, Stan69 donated a Ninjagini. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Saying, I'm sorry for my comments. Go easy on that Mexican guy. I'm sure he means well making them prop toys. Shrug emoji.
Amazing. I don't know what he's referring to.
He's referring to your the Jesse Cowboy, Mexican Cowboy JLP doll.
Oh, yeah. The guy that is giving adding all the stuff to the horse, right?
Yep.
He mean well. No, he liked the horse. He loved the horse. It's just that we're from two different parts of the world. Down in Alabama, we just rode a horse, right? I didn't have wood and all that on him. Hola. But in Mexico, I guess, in the cowboy movies, some of them, they did all that. That's all. But thank you. I appreciate it. Si, senor. Senor, si.
Kofi.
Amazing.
Kofi or Kofi19 on Rumble says, to answer the biblical question.
What is your state of mind? What is your state of mind?
My state of mind used to be Maryland, but now it's Arkansas. Did I answer correctly? I don't know. Maybe I'm just black and slow.
I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you.
And thanks to the top contributors on D Live, Stan69, Coffee Talk with Sandra, Powers That Bear, Enoch 87 Bear, Wrinkle Hands Bing Bong, Kid Combo 1, Steph K, Wolf 336, Super Dave, and Reno Miles. Appreciate all the lemons and diamonds and ice creams and Ninjaginis.
Amazing.
Sweet. And we opened the treasure chest. Congrats to the redistribution of lemons from the Obama chest. Obama's sunken chest. And that's all for now, guys. Thank you.
Thank you all. Amazing. Thank you. What are you dealing with today on the Hake Report?
Well, wouldn't you like to know?
And God would like to know, too.
There's this... Can I say the word slutty?
What?
Can I say the word slutty?
What?
Slutty?
I can't hear you.
Slutty.
No.
Oh.
You already said it.
A lady, and I use the term loosely, dressed like a sex worker, if I can say that word, hugs her almost adult son. Maybe he's a high schooler, maybe. He looks sort of a boyish face. Football player son, and she's dressed like she's going to the club. And she has her legs wrapped around him. Just jumps up and, I don't know if you saw that.
I thought that was his girlfriend or something.
That is his mother.
How you know?
Because first of all, she's quite clearly older than him if you look closely.
Yeah, I didn't look real close.
And then there's a young lady who comments right afterwards, like as if it's a TikTok reaction video.
Right.
And those people are never wrong. I say that facetiously. But it says, that's not his girlfriend, that's his mom.
Wow.
And then she gives a weird face. And it reminded me of how you talk about how mothers, you've even said it to your guest from last hour, Chrissie Mayr, when she had you on her podcast.
Yeah.
That mothers are, I don't know if I can say that word, horny.
I was
for their
surprised.
sons.
I didn't know that until I started counseling with people around the world. I've heard the devil is busy.
Yeah.
Some of the things that the devil made human beings do is mind-blowing to me, but I understand it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know the number of women. I didn't know mothers were horny for their sons.
Don't say that word. But yeah.
Hot.
You got the meaning across. You don't have to keep on coming up with synonyms.
Oh, I thought you said don't say that word.
It's too late. You already said it, so you don't have to repeat it with other words.
Oh.
But yeah.
I had no idea that And I understand it though now.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that how anger like that caused mothers to be sexually attracted to their sons, and to the point that some of the stuff I have heard is mind-blowing. But mothers, and not all, but most mothers are horny for their sons. Some are actually doing it.
Right. Wow.
Not just horny.
Yeah.
But they're doing it as well. But that's what evil does when you have that anger.
I mean, people talk about emotional incest, and somebody in the replies to this incident talked about emotional incest. One of your callers talked about that. Accused his father of giving him money, but not being
emotionally
intimate.
Yeah.
But I don't get how that.
No, he was saying
applies.
his father was not
Didn't know how to be
emotional with him, meaning that his father didn't give him what he think is love.
So he misused that word.
Yeah, he just misused the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
So
crazy.
you're dealing with that today on the Hake Report.
Yeah, hopefully not. That's not probably going to be my whole show. I'll talk about how the Proud Boys got the book thrown at them for their terrorism in January 6th a little bit.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The Hake Report at 9 a.m. this morning.
And I don't know if you know about this lead singer of Smash Mouth dying. I meant to get to it yesterday.
I don't even know who that is.
It's a pop rock group, alternative, some people call it, from the 90s when I was in high school. High school. And he drank himself to death. He was only 56 and he died.
Wow. May his soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Sweet.
All right, the Hake Report at 9 a.m. Don't miss it. You just heard. He's going to be talking about horny mothers for their sons. Why are you frowning? What the? Let me go. There's one line open. 888-7753-773. Brandy from Hawaii. Brandy, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. Good morning.
Good morning, Brandy.
We ran out of time yesterday, but it's okay. I'm calling because yesterday on the way to work, I was doing the silent prayer, and I realized that I did not forgive my aunt yet, and I've been putting it off for a year because you told me like a year ago to do it.
Why are you putting it off for so long?
Because I'm terrified of her.
Oh, okay.
But yesterday, I was supposed to do it on my day off, and I kept forgetting. And so yesterday was my Monday. And on the way to work, I realized I forgot, and I just didn't think about it. I just grabbed the phone and called her, and she actually answered. And she ended up hanging up on me, and she didn't like she didn't like what I had to say. And I noticed that I did stay very calm, even though she started yelling at me. And she turned it around, like you said. She turned it around and blamed me, even though since I've turned 18, it's been like over 20 years, I barely see them or talk to them, so I don't really understand what she's blaming me for.
Well, and how did you deal with it?
As she was yelling at me, I just sat there and listened to what she had to say, and I could see that it was trying to make me mad, but I did not get mad.
Nice.
I just was very calm.
Yeah.
And I kind of talked to her just like I am with you when she said that something about I helped you with my ex-boyfriend because I bought a house when I was 19 with him, and I was stupid enough to put his name on it. So one day she did come out and help me when he went in and took the place over, but there was really nothing we could do anyways. The cops came, and because his name was on the house, it was a court matter.
Well, that's not a reason for her to accept your apology, but it doesn't matter how she reacted to it. She's not ready to overcome her hell. So just wish her well, but move on with your life now that you have forgiven her. Are you doing the silent prayer every morning? Oh, yeah, you told me yesterday you were.
Yeah, every morning, every night,
Yeah.
on the way to work. And then even the last few months, I've been going out on my breaks to my car
Yeah.
and fitting the extra 15 minutes to a half hour in. So I'm like doing the silent prayer throughout the day here and there.
Yeah, and practice. If you can't go to your car and you get caught up in your head in thoughts, thinking about the past or the future, just take a moment, come back to your body, bring your mind back to your body, be aware of your body, and you'll be fine. But just stay with it now and wish them well Don't be mad at them. They just cannot see, and they're not ready to see. And you go on, and you'll see that your life is just going to work itself out, and it's going to be a life that you never imagined. It will work out if you stay with it.
Okay. So I did do the right thing. Because, like, the thoughts right away were like, you're an idiot. Why, you're calling her to cause trouble. Because when she hung up, she did say, oh, you're just calling to harass me. I'm like, harass you? I'm calling to forgive you.
Right. But
forgive me for what? I did nothing to you.
Well, all thoughts are all lies all the time. So give no room to thoughts. They're all lies all the time. So let them go, all right?
Okay. Are you supposed to feel any kind of freedom from that, like, right away? Or is that just, it'll come later?
Yeah, just watch and don't worry. It'll happen. All right?
Okay, cool. We're running out of time, but
yeah.
I'll call you next week and let you know, tell you my story. Oh, I started a cleaning business when I was 19, just like you, and I wanted to tell you about it.
Right
so
on.
we're running out of time, so I'll call you back for it.
Absolutely. Have a good one. Thank you, Brandy.
Thank you.
All right. Amazing. There's a line open. Let's go to Quint out of New York. Quint, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. How
Hey,
you doing?
Quint. All is well.
When I called before, I was the guy that called that was, when I forgave my mother, I was saying that it was like throwing holy water on her. She lost her mind initially when I had done that, but it has, over the last weeks, it has evened out, the dynamics between. She's very ill. I'm
Speak up a little bit, Quint.
I said I happen to be her full-time caretaker.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and it's been it's been a thing. I am happy that I've gotten listening to the show has helped a lot in terms of that. But what I'm calling today about is that because I know you mentioned that sometimes you have to do the forgiveness several times. It's not like you just do it one time.
No, I never said that.
So, you never said that? Oh, I thought sometimes you have to do it more than once.
No, once you forgive, when you truly see that you have anger, you're going to see that it's wrong to have anger. Number one, it's keeping you from the light of the Father, keeping you from becoming free. But once you see that you have it and that it's wrong, and then you go and forgive, there's no reason to go back and forgive again. But the spirit of the lie in the imagination would tell you to. But once you do it, you have done it. It's done.
Okay. Well, that's the challenge, the imagination, because when I step back and look at the tapestry of my life, what I'm having now, and you notice things now. I notice things that I didn't notice before.
Yes.
About myself.
Absolutely.
I noticed like the decisions that I made and the path that I took. And what I'm going through. My question today was, as a man, if you get to a point in your life, I'm 60 this year, right? And I realized that I spent the majority of my life under this spell, under this understanding, and now I see, but it seems overwhelming. Like everything that I used to see in life that I thought was good, it turns out to was evil. But I didn't know it was evil.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm pursuing things. I'm doing things. I wanted to go into show business. I was doing this. I was a dancer. I was a person. I thought all of these things. But now when I look back, oh my God, it was just anger and trying to cope. It was all sexual, wrapped up in the 80s and doing all these different kinds of things. And so I get to the point now where the world seems so disgusting to me. I can't imagine engaging in it anymore because I feel like a pariah. Now I see things differently. Everybody else is still on the old page. So if I'm not doing the things I used to do, well, that takes all your friends out of the picture. So you don't have any more of your old friends. You see things that normal people don't see. And, of course, being black, if you see Donald Trump as the great white hope, of course, that's going to kill
yeah.
people. So, I'm like, I have the last couple of years, I have been taking care of her. and I don't know, so I'm dealing with where do I go from here, right? The world is heck, man. I go to the supermarket and the people stocking the shelves are all transgender and all kinds of craziness going on out there. The world is so different than when I was engaging it. It's just so beyond. And I wonder, what do you? I admire you. You're working, helping people, and the people that work with you. You're all, have that support on each other. But what do you do when you may have to go out in the world and deal with all of this stuff by yourself, without any connection to the world anymore?
And what do you mean by deal with the world?
Well, I would, if I have to go back out in the workplace, I have to find a career with my mother actually, when she transitions, and and I'm the beaker of the family at this particular point, right? I'm taking care of everything for the family. I'm the one that didn't have any kids. I'm the one that didn't have a family, and so a part of me doesn't know what I would do, at this particular point. I don't. Nothing calls me. The world used to call to me. I used to love things in the world. I used to get absorbed in many different things, whether it was the movies, the gym, music. But now everything has that tone to it. You see things in it that you didn't see before.
So, because of time, when you say have to deal with the world, what do you mean you have to deal with the world?
Engage with it. Like almost like just being around it. It's like walking through filth. It's like, you have to be a part, because as soon as if you express the truth of what I'm feeling and seeing, everyone around you turns against you. So you kind of have to make a choice. Do I go around the world and just act like I'm one of everybody else, act like I go along with everything else, act like I love everything else, and say nothing and live in that? Or
you deal with the world by not dealing with the world. You just live your life now, because what you see out there in the world is in the people. It's not in the physical world. It's in the people, right? And so you just go out and live. Just go to work, go to the market, and as you're understanding what's in you, and you're overcoming that, you're going to see that same spirit, evil spirit, is in all people, and they can't see. And so just seeing what's going on, what's up, is keeping you from the world. You'll be in it, but not of it. Just seeing it. There's nothing else for you to do.
Okay.
All you need to do is just see, and you will understand that the people don't understand it. They just can't see. You won't take it personal. You won't you won't judge them. You wouldn't have an opinion about it. You would just see what's going on, and that's all you need to do is just see.
I see. Right.
It's like when you see what's going on inside of you, you see the fears and the thoughts and all that. You just see it. That's all need to be done. Nothing is required of you at all but to live.
Right. Okay. I understand.
And then don't think about what's gonna happen when you go out there, because you're going to the future, which is taking you away from God, and you're going back into the land of darkness. Just live now, this moment, the next moment, the next moment. Take no thought about yesterday or tomorrow, and everything will just work for you. It'll work for you. There's nothing for you to do.
I understand. Thanks. Yes. That makes sense. And it's the way you put it. It makes a lot of sense. It's not in the world. It's in the people.
Right. It's in the people. It's not. So it's not going to affect you in a physical way, nor spiritual way, because you can now see. And so you're in the world, but you're not of it. You no longer identify with that fallen nature, as most people will continue to identify with, but it won't affect you. It'll affect them, but not you.
Gotcha. Right. Well, that's a big difference when you look at it that way, because, when I go out into the world, that was what I was doing. I was taking it personally. I was embracing, like, all the stuff that's going on, but it's not in the people. It's It's in the people, not in the world.
Right.
That makes sense.
And if you take it personally, you're judging them. And if you judge them, you're playing God, which means that you don't really see. You don't have that love, because in perfect love, you cannot judge your fellow man, fellow human beings.
Right, because sometimes when you're talking to people, you seem to have such patience with people. I'm sometimes listening, going, "Oh my God, I can't believe these people," but you don't take it personally.
Right, it's not them.
It's not them. Right?
It's really not them. They are being driven by darkness, but they don't know it. They have accepted the darkness as the light.
Right.
They think it's them.
Yes, I understand, bro. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you
for clearing that up.
All right.
All right, man.
All right, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. I'm out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now. TheHakeReport.com. And then after that, wow, Hassan, W-O-W, and his dog walking on water. Wow, Hassan. And the Anchor Baby at 12 noon. The Anchor Baby is on fire. You don't want to miss flying high, but not off drugs, off natural spirit, natural energy. I'll be back tomorrow. It's Bible Thumper Thursday. Become your own man, become your own woman. Thank you all. Have a good one.
In the unseen while we stand up and get back to the way we were designed to be.
Know that so you get something went wrong, but check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. Stand up, we got fighting to do. We gotta show him who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understand in the loop. You better go talk to your mama. Better stop at the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up, man up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa. You must know that so you get something went wrong, but about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause you must know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Other than sex, I wonder, why would a man even need a woman today? Women don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. They're in competition with men. They don't want to be wives and mothers. Some want to get married, but they don't want to live in that proper position of life. Because the only purpose of marriage is to have a family. And that's been known forever. And so if you don't want to have children, there is no need to get married. And so I was wondering, why would a man even get married today? I never thought I'd see the day when women would come out of her natural role and be like a man. Even though she hate that role. When she was with a man that's weak, she hate him. But if he try to be strong, she'll stop it. I never imagined that. You're seeing good destroyed and abnormal is presented as normal.